Archangel Michael says, 7 angels are circling your home, but your son's destiny is at risk. If you skip this, the protection will be lifted. You must open it right now. 7 angels have been stationed around your home, and they are not there by accident. They have descended on divine assignment, guided by Archangel Michael himself. As you read this, their wings stir the spiritual air, watching, guarding, holding back dark forces that seek to strike. This message is not ordinary. It is a lifeline for your son, whose destiny hangs in a dangerous balance. A spiritual attack has been brewing in silence, unseen but very real. And the heavens have been trying to get your attention for days, maybe even weeks. You have noticed signs, sudden changes in your son's behavior, restless sleep, shadows in his eyes that weren't there before, opportunities that should have come delayed. It may seem like misfortune or stress, but behind the veil, something deeper is unfolding. Archangel Michael, the warrior of divine protection, has blown the trumpet. Your son is under threat. The 7 angels now circling your home are holding space, but they cannot remain if you ignore this message. Heaven's help must be accepted, not assumed. This message is a sacred instruction, and the timing is urgent. If you delay, the shield will lower. If you ignore, the attackers will advance. Heaven cannot force your will, but it is giving you a final opportunity to activate your authority as a parent, as a vessel of divine covering. Your son's destiny is a tapestry woven with light and greatness, but dark hands are trying to rewrite the story. This message contains the steps, the revelations, and the actions needed to restore and reinforce his spiritual defense. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4896. Archangel Michael does not cry out unless the moment is severe. He has come because your child's future contains something great, something hell is terrified of. You must understand, this is not fear-mongering. This is a sacred unveiling. Prophetic timing has collided with personal responsibility, and you are the gatekeeper. This is why you were chosen to receive this message. This is why angels are standing around your home like a fortress. But a fortress must be strengthened from within, not just guarded from without. There is still time, but barely. Each second you wait, the vibration of your home shifts. The divine is holding on, but if this message is skipped, the atmosphere will shift. The spiritual network that was divinely activated will collapse under the weight of neglect. This isn't just about your son's safety, it's about preserving his divine timeline, his gifts, and his calling. You must go deeper. You must move now. This is part 1 of a divine scroll meant only for your eyes. The war over your son's destiny didn't begin today. It's been brewing in the spirit realm since before he was even born. His soul carries a unique frequency, a divine calling encoded deep within his being. But as is the case with all chosen vessels, darkness often tries to strike early. These attacks don't always come in loud, obvious ways. They hide in patterns, in distractions, confusion, disobedience, emotional spirals, or unexpected delays that pile up like weights on his spirit. You may have thought it was just coincidence, but Archangel Michael is now revealing it has been spiritual warfare. From the moment of conception, heaven assigned watchers over him. But now, those watchers have been reinforced by 7 high-ranking angels because the battle has intensified. These angels were not dispatched lightly. They were sent because the enemy identified your son as a future light bearer, someone who will carry truth, healing, and divine creativity into the world. What you are witnessing in your home, strange moods, lost ambition, sudden withdrawal, isn't just psychological. It's spiritual interference meant to distort his path before it can fully open. Archangel Michael has raised his sword. He has stood at the edge of your son's timeline, blocking certain attacks that would have done irreversible damage. You've seen close calls, near accidents, friendships that dissolved just in time, choices your son almost made but didn't. These weren't luck. These were interventions. But the divine shield must be strengthened with your awareness, your authority, and your faith. The angels around your home are holding the line, but they need your permission to act deeper and clearer. Type I am rising to get the blessing 6024. The enemy uses legal access points, doors open through ancestral trauma, negative words spoken in moments of frustration, or energies lingering from environments your son has been exposed to. These access points give the adversary permission to distort. You are being given this message now because you are the spiritual gatekeeper of your household. Your decisions, your words, and your prayers carry more weight than you realize. Archangel Michael says your voice can either close the door or leave it ajar for further attack. Heaven is calling you into alignment and into war, not physical war, but spiritual engagement. Your son is in a season where choices become pathways, and each wrong step ends detours. There are people being positioned to influence him. Some are heaven sent, others are traps disguised as mentors, friends, or even harmless distractions. The 7 angels surrounding your home are intercepting some of these traps, but others require your involvement. You have spiritual authority to speak over your son's future. And now is the time to declare with boldness, his destiny will not be hijacked. His path will not be delayed. His purpose will not be stolen. Type I am anointed to get blessing 8171. Heaven is not asking for perfection. It's asking for partnership. Your son's soul recognizes your vibration. Even when he rebels or seems distant, your spirit still influences him. You don't need to have all the answers. You only need to step into the divine instructions revealed in the parts of this message that follow. Your obedience will realign his atmosphere. Your faith will act as a spiritual firewall. Archangel Michael stands ready, but this is your moment to say yes to the role you were born for. There is still time. The angels are still circling, but they will not remain idle. If this message is dismissed, their assignment will shift, and the vacuum left behind will invite a much darker presence. Heaven never forces, only invites. This is your invitation to awaken to the spiritual battle over your home and to fight back with divine precision. Every action you take from this point forward matters. Your son's future is counting on you. Type I am protected to get the blessing 3917. Before your son entered this physical world, his name was known in the courts of heaven. The scroll was written, detailing his calling, his influence, and the light he was meant to shine into a dark world. That scroll is not a metaphor. It is real in the realm of spirit. Angels were assigned to protect it, prophets were sent to confirm it, and now you are being summoned to partner with heaven in activating it. Archangel Michael is revealing that part of your son's pain, confusion, and recent resistance comes from a battle over this scroll. Dark forces do not fear children with ordinary destinies, but when a child is marked to impact generations, hell tries to intervene early. The plan is always the same: confuse the mind, weaken the self-worth, delay the development of identity, and scatter their gifts before they learn how to wield them. If your son is showing signs of inner turmoil, if he's questioning his value or purpose, it's not a sign of failure. It's a signal that his scroll has been seen by dark watchers. The attacks mean he's dangerous to hell. and heaven is urgently intervening through this message to redirect him. This is why the 7 angels are circling your home. They are guarding the divine documents of his calling. Your home has become a spiritual archive, holding sacred knowledge that must be protected at all costs. But the covering cannot remain if you reject the message. Michael says, the scroll is under threat. You must try to protect what was written. That protection begins with understanding that what your son carries is not ordinary. He was never meant to blend in. He was designed to break patterns, dismantle strongholds, and carry truth through his voice, his mind, or his hands. Tap I am rising to get the blessing 5112. Prophetic scrolls can be activated early or late, but they cannot be erased. Even if delayed, destiny will find its way. But wouldn't you rather see him walk in the fullness now rather than watch him wander for years in confusion? Archangel Michael is urging you not to leave this to chance. Heaven is presenting you with insights and access. Your words have power. Declare over your son today, your scroll will not be stolen. Your scroll will not be delayed. Your scroll will be fulfilled. Your son's destiny may include healing others, speaking truth, building divine solutions, or dismantling generational pain. Do not underestimate how his smile, his presence, or his mind can alter the future of others. The enemy is terrified not of who he is now, but of who he is becoming. Michael says, heaven sees who he is even when he doesn't. Stand in the gap until he sees it too. And you must. Your role is not passive. You are the protector of the scroll until your son can rise and read it himself. Type I am chosen to get blessing 6288. Now is not the time to be afraid. It is the time to act. Begin by blessing his name every morning and sealing his future every night. Begin by cleansing your home of old energies that may interfere. Begin by speaking into the unseen as if you already see the breakthrough. This is not superstition. It is spiritual warfare carried out in love and wisdom. You are not alone in this fight. Michael and the 7 angels are surrounding you, but they need you to take your place as the intercessor and protector of your bloodline. This message is your scroll of instruction. Each part unlocks another layer of understanding. Each section builds the wall higher, stronger. Do not stop now. What's coming next will teach you how to break off invisible chains trying to wrap around your son's future. Stay awake. Stay present. The battle is real, but so is the victory. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I am awakened to get the blessing 7003. Your son may not even realize it, but there are invisible chains attempting to grip his destiny. These chains aren't made of iron or steel. They are forged from emotional pain, spiritual confusion, generational wounds, and unseen agreements made in vulnerable moments. Archangel Michael is revealing that there are forces trying to limit how far your son goes. These forces work in silence, in shadows, speaking lies into his spirit. You're not enough. You're always behind. No one really sees you, but heaven sees. And heaven is ready to break these lies with truth. These invisible chains are often rooted in events you didn't notice. Comments he heard that cut deep, betrayals he hasn't spoken of, dreams he once had but gave up on quietly. They also come from past generational wounds. What was never healed in the bloodline becomes a pattern repeated unless interrupted. These chains delay decisions, cloud judgment, and make your son question his place in the world. But now, you have been given sight. And with sight comes responsibility. You must now declare war on anything that chains your son's calling. The 7 angels sent by heaven are not simply hovering. They are stationed to dismantle these strongholds, but they cannot act without your cooperation. Heaven operates through agreement. When you speak life, the angels move. When you rebuke the lie, the chain weakens. When you praise even in frustration, the air shifts. Michael says this clearly. No chain can remain when the authority of the parent aligns with the instructions of the throne. You are the voice that can cancel spiritual contracts your son never agreed to. Type "I'm rising" to get the blessing 4844. You may think, but he's not listening to me anymore. Or, he's too old to be changed. But the spirit realm doesn't recognize time the way the natural world does. Your words can reach beyond what his ears hear. You're not speaking to his current resistance. You're speaking into his spirit, which still remembers divine truth. Your son, no matter his age or attitude, is still a soul under your spiritual covering. Even if he's wandered, even if he's disconnected, you can reclaim him in the spirit by rising in faith. The enemy hopes you will stay silent. He wants you to believe it's too late. But the fact that you're reading this message now is proof that heaven hasn't given up, and neither should you. Michael says, the moment a parent begins to speak with heaven's authority, all hell trembles. You may have underestimated how powerful your agreement is. But today, that changes. Today, you become the divine echo of heaven over your son's future. Every lie spoken against him is about to be reversed. Type "I am protected" to get blessing 9188. Chains are broken through consistent truth. Say it even if you don't see change immediately. Speak it over him when he sleeps. Whisper it under your breath when you think of him. Bless his name aloud. Declare you will be who God created you to be. Watch how the angels around your home begin to stir with new energy. Archangel Michael will not leave until this battle is resolved. But the clock is ticking. If you delay, the enemy will reattempt what heaven is trying to cancel now. You don't need special rituals. You need truth, faith, and the willingness to act. Each word from your lips is a key. Each prayer is a sword. Each refusal to believe the lie is a wall of light. Your son's spirit is waiting for reinforcement, and you are that reinforcement. You are his first line of defense. Your decision to believe is more than enough to activate this supernatural army around your home. The chains won't survive much longer. Type "I am delivered" to get the blessing 3331. Long before your son was born, a war was waged over your bloodline. In the spiritual realms, bloodlines are more than genetics. They are rivers of purpose, reservoirs of divine assignments, and blueprints passed from generation to generation. Archangel Michael is revealing now that the enemy has tried to contaminate your family's spiritual DNA through cycles of fear, silence, shame, addiction, and misalignment. These attacks were never just about the past. They were aimed at what your son would carry forward. He is the breaker of patterns, and hell knows it. When a soul like your son's arrives into a family with a divine charge, the attacks become generational. Curses try to wrap themselves in normality. Statements like "that's just how it's always been" or "he's just like his father" are not casual. They are assignments dressed as tradition. But Michael says your son was born to rewrite that narrative. The 7 angels now circling your home are here not just for him, but for the legacy that flows through him. They are guarding a turning point, and you are the one who must acknowledge it. This battle did not begin with him, but it will end through him. If you activate what heaven is giving you, you are being asked to break cycles of silence. You are being summoned to open your mouth and say, "No more." The patterns that stole from your ancestors will not continue in your son's life. The delay that crippled the dreams of past generations will not define his story. You are the intercessor sent to cancel what was embedded before he had the words to fight. Type "I am rising to get the blessing" 5582. Look back over your family history. Do you see the loops? The promising beginnings that ended in disappointment. The prophetic dreams that were forgotten. The mental and emotional strongholds that passed from one generation to the next like heirlooms of grief. All of those loops are enemies of your son's future. But the difference now is that you are awake. You are not reading this message by coincidence. You were selected by heaven to be the one that says, "It ends with me." Archangel Michael is standing with you. But your agreement is needed. The 7 angels surrounding your home are not just passive observers. They are active enforcers of heaven's will. When you stand and declare freedom for your family line, they move into position. When you recognize a toxic pattern and reject it, they begin to cut ties. When you anoint your home, speak in faith, and cover your son's name with divine light, the bloodline begins to shift. Michael says, "This is not just for your son. This is for the sons that will come after him." Your obedience will echo through time. Type "I am chosen to get blessing" 7740. But time is limited. If you skip this instruction, if you dismiss this message, the protection that's now active will begin to lift. Not as punishment, but as consequence. The spiritual laws are activated by response, not good intention. Do not let this divine opportunity pass. You have the tools now. Heaven is not asking you to understand everything. Heaven is asking you to take action. Speak life over your son. Reject every label placed on him that did not come from God. Break every agreement with defeat, addiction, depression, fear, or failure. You are rising as the breaker of bloodline chains. Your son may not yet see the battle, but your clarity will be enough to carry him until he does. Michael and his army are with you, but they need you to act boldly now. Each day, speak out loud, "My bloodline is blessed. My son is protected. The cycle ends with me." The enemy will try to whisper lies. Don't listen. Heaven is shouting louder, and the angels are standing guard. Type "I am the shift to get the blessing" 3695. Your son hath been hearing voices, but not all of them are his own. In the spirit realm, influence is currency. Archangel Michael reveals now that deceptive whispers have been speaking to your son, subtly, repeatedly, and often through the mouths of others. These are not always literal voices, but thought patterns, implanted doubts, and projected fears disguised as advice, comments, jokes, or even teachings. They come through music, media, friends, and even teachers. Any open channel can be used to distort the clarity of his purpose. And these influences are more dangerous than you may realize. The enemy rarely shows up as a monster. He prefers masks. He uses what your son trusts and twists what he believes. That's why your son may have started withdrawing, doubting himself, or second-guessing the path that once excited him. Somewhere along the way, a false voice gained access, and that voice has been whispering, "You're not ready. You're not worthy. You're too late. But heaven says otherwise. Archangel Michael declares, your son is not behind. He is in divine timing. But the interference must be broken before it breaks him. You've likely seen it in his eyes, a change, a weight, a flicker of doubt where joy used to live. Maybe he's begun following the crowd when he used to lead it. Maybe his boldness turned quiet. His questions became sarcasm. His hope turned into indifference. These are not simply personality changes. They are signs of influence. The angels circling your home are pushing back against these forces. But without your agreement, the push weakens. You must rise now and confront the false voices before they rewrite your son's identity. Type I am rising to get the blessing 6231. Your son's spirit is like a garden. He was born with divine seed. But seeds don't grow just because they exist. They need protection, cultivation, and most importantly, discernment about what tries to plant beside them. Right now, weeds are attempting to grow next to your son's destiny. These weeds are relationships, ideologies, and spiritual vibrations that carry confusion and distortion. If allowed to remain, they will choke the divine seed. But the good news is, your awareness is the beginning of deliverance. You were given this insight because heaven trusts you to act. Begin asking for discernment. Begin cleansing the airwaves. Begin anointing your son's devices. Yes, even the unseen portals matter. Walk through his room and speak life. Place scriptures under his pillow. Invite angelic presence to guard his dreams. You are not intruding. You are protecting. Archangel Michael reminds you that the greatest attack is the one that goes unnoticed. But now you've seen it. Now you know. And now you are responsible. False influence only thrives in silence. Your declaration breaks the spell. Type I am awakened to get blessing 8022. The enemy is counting on you to be passive. To believe that you can't do anything. To assume that this is just how kids are today. But you know better. Your spirit knows better. That urgency you feel, that stirring in your chest, is heaven pressing you forward. There are still divine connections waiting for your son. God-ordained mentors, true friends, and opportunities for purpose are standing ready. But they cannot be revealed while counterfeit ones are in place. You must clear the path. You must ask heaven to expose every false alliance and every toxic voice. Speak aloud now. I cancel every false voice speaking against my son's identity. Only truth may enter his mind. Only light may guide his steps. Say it again and again. The angels will move on your words, and Michael will stand at the gates of your home with sword drawn. The battle is not over, but you are winning, because you are waking up, and waking up is the beginning of every miracle. Type I am the voice of truth to get the blessing 9444. The atmosphere of your home responds to the words you speak. The destiny of your son bends not only to what he says but also to what you declare over him. Archangel Michael is revealing something that many overlook. The decree of a spiritually aware parent can redirect the entire trajectory of a child's life. Heaven honors the voice of the one who carries the weight of guardianship. What you speak over your son's life carries heavenly power, even if he resists it at first. The decree of the parent opens or closes spiritual portals. Many parents don't realize this authority. They say things in frustration like, "He'll never change," or "I don't know what's wrong with him," and unknowingly echo the lies the enemy already planted. But you are not that parent. You are different. You are being awakened to speak as heaven speaks. Your declarations are no longer emotional. They are prophetic. From this day forward, your words are fire. Your tongue is a key, and your decree is a sword. You don't just parent in the physical. You now stand as a prophet at the gate of your child's life. Your son may not hear every word you say, but the angels do. The spirits that are watching his life hear them too. When you say, "You are rising, you are chosen, you are protected," the environment changes. Darkness loses its grip. Confusion dissolves. Hope begins to stir again. You must now make it your mission to speak only what aligns with heaven. Even when you're tired, even when you're hurt, even when you're unsure. Speak as if God Himself is listening, because He is. Type "I'm rising" to get the blessing 5533. Every day, choose one declaration and repeat it with power. Say, "My son's mind is clear. His destiny is aligned. His future is bright. He is surrounded by light." Say it until your home feels different. Say it until the spiritual atmosphere shifts. And then say it again. You are building a fortress with your words, one that the enemy cannot penetrate. Archangel Michael says, "Your voice is stronger than the attack. Your decree is louder than the lie. Speak, and I will strike." This is the power you now hold. If you said negative words before, don't be discouraged. Heaven is full of grace, and it responds to repentance with restoration. Simply say, "I cancel every word I've spoken that does not align with God's truth." Then replace it with light. This act alone will release pressure off your son's life. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be present, aware, and intentional. The angels circling your home are waiting for you to command the atmosphere. Don't delay. The clock is ticking. Type "I am speaking life" to get blessing 6211. Your son is sensitive in the spirit. He may not express it in words, but he feels your energy. He senses when you believe in him, and he senses when you're afraid for him. That's why your decree must come from faith, not fear. Fear empowers the enemy. Faith activates heaven. Archangel Michael is urging you. Stop agreeing with what you see and start aligning with what heaven has spoken. Begin now. Set the tone each morning with prophetic words. Fill your walls with affirmations of truth. Speak His name with glory attached to it. You are the trumpet of God in your home. Sound the alarm. Cancel the lie. Affirm the truth. Heaven is listening. Hell is trembling. And your son's spirit is watching, waiting, and awakening. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type "I am the decree" to get the blessing 8759. This is the divine moment heaven has orchestrated just for you. This is not a general message. It is a targeted intervention from the highest courts of the spirit realm. Archangel Michael and the 7 angels are not just surrounding your home by coincidence. They are there because the Father has seen what's coming, what's trying to rise against your son, and what can still be prevented if you act quickly. This message is more than information. It is activation. This is your invitation to join in the war over your son's future and finally win what hell has tried to steal. You're not powerless. You're not late. You've not failed. Everything you need to protect your son's purpose is being revealed to you right now, through this scroll of prophetic guidance. But heaven won't act without your permission. The angels are ready. The sword has been drawn, but they are waiting for your yes. They are waiting for you to say, I receive. I believe. I will act. You've already begun the process by opening this message. But now, you must fully step into alignment with what the Spirit is releasing. Your son's spirit is responding even now, though he may not know why. He may feel a sudden tug in his heart, a strange feeling of calm or discomfort, or an urge to pause what he's doing. That's not coincidence. It's the spiritual tether between parent and child being activated by truth. Your agreement with heaven is producing waves of energy around him. Michael says, every time you receive what heaven offers, a wall of protection is rebuilt around your son's destiny. His feet may stumble, but he will not fall when your obedience is in motion. Type I am rising to get the blessing 4881. This is the pitch heaven makes to you now. Respond with spiritual urgency. Don't just read, act. Don't just feel, declare. Don't just consider, commit. Your participation in this moment determines how swiftly the heavenly armies can move on your son's behalf. Yes, they are already circling. But without your partnership, their ability to intervene is limited by the laws of spiritual consent. You must say yes. You must agree with the divine contract being placed in front of you today. Michael says this contract contains protection, deliverance, and restoration, not just for your son, but for your entire household. Don't miss what's being offered. Heaven isn't knocking like this every day. This is a prophetic window. This is sacred access. The next sections of this message will contain very specific actions, instructions, and prayers. It will break the strongholds you can't even see yet. It will unravel the webs of deception trying to surround your child's choices. But it all starts here, with you saying, yes, I receive this assignment. I receive this honor. I receive the authority to protect my son. The moment you speak it, something in the realm of spirit will shift. Type I am chosen to protect to get blessing 7662. You must also understand something sacred. Every parent is given moments to fight spiritually for their children. These moments are not always loud. Sometimes they come as quiet impressions, dreams or messages like this. But if ignored, the cost is always spiritual delay. Heaven wants to fast forward your son's breakthrough. Heaven wants to elevate him faster, clearer, and stronger. But the interference must be addressed, and the gate must be opened by your hands. Your agreement breaks delay. Your belief opens the gates. Don't second guess. Don't overthink. Heaven is not asking for perfection. It is asking for partnership. You are not alone. You are not weak. You are the chosen gatekeeper of your son's divine future. Stand firm. Stay faithful. Keep reading. What's coming next will unlock everything. Type I am aligned with heaven to get the blessing 9340. There is a divine anointing within your grasp, one that has the power to break the current assignment launched against your son. Archangel Michael speaks clearly. The enemy has activated a timeline of distraction, rebellion, and identity confusion. But you hold the authority to cancel it with anointing. The kind of anointing heaven speaks of is not merely oil or ritual. It is spiritual alignment through word, intention, and sacred decree. It is you rising into your power as the prophet and priest of your home. It is you partnering with heaven to transfer clarity and blessing directly onto your son's soul. There is power in the laying on of hands. not always physically, but spiritually. Every time you speak over your son's life in alignment with heaven, you are spiritually anointing his mind, his path, and his decisions. When you declare that he is not confused, not broken, not behind, you are pulling down divine oil from heaven to coat his destiny. That oil makes it impossible for dark assignments to stick. That oil frustrates the enemy's attempts. It makes demonic targets slip. This is why Michael urges you to act now, before another door opens to interference. You may not see immediate change, but spiritual anointing works through layers. With every declaration, you are softening hardened ground. With every rebuke, you are loosening spiritual knots. With every blessing, you are pressing back the veil that tries to dim your son's spiritual sight. Michael says, the moment you anoint in faith, angels begin to mark new coordinates over his future. These coordinates guide divine opportunities, spiritual allies, and the realignment of his gifts. But if you withhold your voice, if you retreat, that oil remains uncapped, and the attack remains engaged. Type I am rising to get the blessing 6634. This is not about perfect prayers, it's about pure intention. You don't need fancy language. You need authority rooted in love. Try this now. Speak aloud. I anoint my son's mind with clarity. I anoint his heart with peace. I anoint his footsteps with divine alignment. These words may seem small, but in the spirit realm, they shake structures. The angels assigned to your home are drawn to truth. When you speak with conviction, they move like flames, and they are waiting right now for your command. Make this a practice, not a moment. Each morning, anoint his day. Each evening, anoint his rest. If you cannot speak it to him directly, speak it in the Spirit. Heaven hears. The enemy fears. You are building a spiritual canopy over him, one the enemy cannot duplicate, cannot break, cannot penetrate. But the canopy must be maintained through repeated faith. Michael says the oil flows where the faith flows. If you allow discouragement to clog the flow, the oil slows. But if you persist, the protection intensifies. Type I am anointed for this to get blessing 5817. Your son may not understand what you're doing right away. That's okay. He doesn't need to see the oil to be protected by it. He doesn't need to hear every prayer to feel its warmth. Eventually he will awaken to it. He will remember the way the room felt different when you prayed. He will notice how divine opportunities begin appearing after spiritual action. You will look back one day and say, someone was fighting for me in the Spirit. And that someone is you. You were not chosen by accident. You were born to carry this anointing. You were entrusted with this soul because heaven knew you had the strength to intercede. Let nothing silence your voice. Let no delay discourage your faith. The oil is yours. The authority is yours. And the angels are ready to respond. Type I am chosen to anoint to get the blessing 7166. There are moments your son was meant to experience by now. Doors that should have opened, relationships that were meant to shape him, clarity he was supposed to have already embraced. Archangel Michael now reveals that interference has caused a delay. But do not despair. What was delayed is not destroyed. In the kingdom of heaven, restoration is more than catching up. It is acceleration. The years the enemy tried to steal will be returned with interest. What he missed in one season, God is ready to pour out in multiplied measure. But your agreement is the key to activate this divine reversal. Delay is one of the enemy's most strategic weapons. If he cannot destroy, he will distract. If he cannot confuse, he will stall. He aims to make your son question timing, question calling, and question himself. Every moment your son has spent feeling off track or too far behind was part of that spiritual delay. But heaven is ready to redeem the time. Michael says, there is an appointed moment in every destiny when the clock of heaven overrides the patterns of earth. That moment has come. You're reading this message because divine time is about to collapse natural time. But you must be aware, restoration is not passive. It requires response. You must first forgive yourself for what you didn't know. You must let go of guilt, regret, and fear. These are weights, and they block acceleration. Then, you must bless your son's timeline. Speak into it, even now. I bless every year the enemy tried to steal. I bless the season that's coming. I bless the time ahead with power, clarity, and fulfillment. These declarations bend the timeline back into alignment. You don't need to know how. Just know that heaven honors the words of the awakened parent. Type I am rising to get the blessing 8942. Your son may be grieving things he cannot name, missed friendships, lost confidence, forgotten passions. Heaven knows. Heaven kept the wicker, and what was lost is being prepared in new form. But here's the mystery. Sometimes, restoration comes packaged differently. What your son thought was gone may return through a new path, a fresh encounter, a divine substitution. Your role is to prepare him in the spirit to receive it. You do that by speaking expectation, not fear. You become the voice that says, "Get ready, it's coming." You become the echo of heaven's acceleration. Archangel Michael wants you to understand the urgency here. If you let this restoration window pass, the delay could stretch again. Not because God is punishing, but because spiritual cycles wait for response. Do not let this window close without sealing it in prayer and action. Begin declaring today that your son is stepping into a season of supernatural catch-up. That what he was supposed to learn, receive, and become by now is being downloaded into him swiftly. The angels are ready to facilitate this, but only when your declarations rise to meet their assignments. Type I am redeemed through time to get blessing 4440. You must also help your son release disappointment. Even if he's never said it aloud, he feels it. Disappointment has a way of masking itself as laziness or apathy. But in truth, it is grief over stolen moments. You could help him heal by reframing his perspective. Tell him, you're not late. You're in divine time. These words will begin to undo the emotional residue from the seasons that seem wasted. Michael says, a parent's voice is the first sound that cancels spiritual shame. Speak wisely, speak consistently, and speak with conviction. This is not just about catching up, it's about overtaking. Your son's steps are about to accelerate, but you must clear the runway with your faith. Release the past. Receive the moment. Declare the restoration. And let heaven rush in to do what only heaven can. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the Support Here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type I am aligned for acceleration to get the blessing 6128. There is a sacred identity within your son that even he doesn't fully understand yet. Heaven has written a name on him that cannot be seen with human eyes. It is a name encoded with destiny, calling, and divine power. But over time, the enemy has tried to rewrite that name with false labels. Not enough. Difficult. Misunderstood. Lust. These words were never authored by God, yet they've tried to attach themselves to his spirit. Archangel Michael speaks now with urgency. His identity must be reclaimed in the spirit before it is distorted in the soul. Every child carries the residue of how they've been named by their parents, teachers, friends, and especially themselves. When identity is misaligned, choices begin to follow confusion. That's what has been happening lately. You may have noticed your son withdrawing, shrinking, doubting his gifts. He may be acting out, questioning who he is, or chasing validation in all the wrong places. But this is not the end of the story. It is the moment heaven steps in. This message is not just about protection. It is about the restoration of his divine identity. Michael says this is the time to call your son by his heavenly name. And oh, you may not know the literal name written on his scroll, but you can speak the characteristics it carries. Begin to speak what God sees. You are wise. You are powerful. You are chosen. You are protected. You are rising. These are not just affirmations. They are identity activators. When spoken by the one entrusted with his care, they penetrate the spiritual confusion and begin to dismantle the false labels. You become the holy mirror reflecting his true face back to him. Type I'm rising to get the blessing 5566. False identity is one of the most powerful tools of the enemy because it changes behavior from the inside out. But true identity, once activated, overrides confusion with clarity. It breaks shame with purpose. It silences fear with belonging. Your son doesn't just need to hear who he is. He needs to feel that heaven hasn't forgotten him. Your voice can deliver that assurance. Archangel Michael says, the angels will echo what you declare. So when you say, he is becoming all he was created to be, the spirit realm begins aligning circumstances to make it so. This activation also requires you to stop rehearsing the old story. Whatever your son has done, whatever mistakes have been made, those are not his name. They are chapters, not conclusions. If you hold on to them, you unknowingly keep him locked in a version of himself he's outgrown. Let go. Release the past version of him. Begin speaking to the man he is becoming, not the boy he used to be. This is your spiritual assignment. Speak to his future, not his flaws. And when you do, angels will begin reinforcing that vision with divine favor. Type I am the voice of identity to get blessing 7377. You must also begin removing false identities from your home. If there are things around him, music, posters, content, even people, that reinforce lies about who he is, begin to gently dismantle them. Create an environment where truth is louder than confusion. Let the walls of your home breathe life. Speak love into every corner. Anoint his shoes, his pillow, his devices. Leave notes of blessing in hidden places. The smallest actions become massive declarations when done with faith. Heaven sees it all. And Michael reminds you, your atmosphere must match your declarations. The next few days will be critical. Watch for signs. You may see your son open up. You may notice a sudden softening. You might even face resistance. Don't let it discourage you. It means the spirit is being stirred. Stay the course. Stay in truth. The identity heaven has declared over your son is indestructible, but it must be activated by you. Speak it. Live it. Defend it. And never, ever speak the lie again. Type I am a defender of destiny to get the blessing 6901. This is it. The moment where heaven leans in one final time. Archangel Michael is standing still, sword still drawn, waiting for your full agreement before a major spiritual shift begins. The 7 angels around your home are in divine position, watching, ready to defend. But only if your heart stays open, your faith remains active, and your voice continues declaring. This section is not just another chapter. It is heaven's final pitch before the next phase is released. If you have felt a divine nudge, a pressing urgency in your spirit, this is why. Time is thin. The realm of spirit is listening. Michael says, heaven will not force protection upon a home that refuses divine guidance. But if the parent says yes, if the guardian receives and obeys, then nothing in hell can break the wall around the child's purpose. That wall is almost complete. But without your continued response, it will begin to weaken. Not because you are being punished, but because spiritual defense must be fed by faith. You've come this far. You've read this far. Do not stop now. Do not let distraction pull you from what's sacred. This message was custom built by heaven for your household in this exact season. Your son's name is being spoken in the realm of angels and demons alike. Is like heaven's system. His voice carries sound waves that heaven has tuned for healing and breakthrough. But none of that manifests without alignment. Your yes is the switch. Your agreement is the gate. Your continued obedience is the key. This is the pitch. Seal this moment. Act. Declare. Woo. Step fully into the divine contract being laid out before you. You don't need to do it perfectly, you just need to do it with faith. Type I am rising to get the blessing 5011. If you truly believe this message was sent to you for a reason, then let heaven see your response. Let your words speak louder than worry. Let your prayers grow stronger than your doubt. Begin today with one final act of agreement. Dedicate your son again in prayer. Whether you did it years ago or never at all, rededicate him now. Say, he belongs to God. His life will not be hijacked. His path will be protected. His identity is restored. Heaven honors those words, and the angels begin to finalize the shield around his calling. Michael reveals that in the coming days, your son may begin to show signs of awakening. He may ask questions. He may grow silent in deep thought. He may resist, but the resistance is confirmation that the spiritual shift is beginning. The enemy always fights the loudest right before the breakthrough takes root. Don't be shaken. Don't back down. Stand taller. Speak louder in the Spirit. Your declarations are spiritual ink sealing this prophetic contract, and every word you speak pushes the darkness back another step. Type I am aligned with heaven's call to get blessing 8413. But if you walk away now, if you ignore this final call, if you choose to forget what you've read, then the angels will step back. Not forever, but until another opening appears. Time will pass, but the delay will hurt. Don't let that happen. Your son deserves the immediate protection, guidance, and anointing that heaven is offering now. Let this be the day that changes everything. Heaven has done its part. The angels are in place. The scroll has been unsealed. And now, it's your turn to declare, act, and respond with courage. Speak it aloud now. I receive this message. I stand in alignment. I protect my son's destiny. I seal his scroll in the power of the Most High. Let the sound of your voice be the alarm that wakes the spirit realm. Let Michael and the 7 angels hear you and be released to act in full authority. Type I am ready to protect destiny to get the blessing 9338. You have come so far. You have stood on spiritual front lines not many would have the courage to face. Archangel Michael now reveals that one last act is needed. A final wall of protection that must be raised by your authority, through your voice, and in the full awareness of who you are. A spiritual gatekeeper, appointed by heaven to safeguard not just your son's present, but his entire future. This is not just a conclusion. This is the fortification that will hold back future storms. This wall is not built with brick, but with consistency, vigilance, and divine obedience. Michael says, this final wall must be constructed from truth. And truth must be repeated, not just once but daily, until your son believes it himself. That means you must create spiritual patterns in your home. Set times where declarations are spoken aloud. Set altars, even simple ones, where prayer becomes your family's daily rhythm. Speak his name every morning. Cover his journey every night. Though opening can remain, though crack aloud. This wall must be seamless. Each prayer you release becomes another stone. Each word of love and protection adds another layer of divine strength. You are now the architect of a spiritual fortress. But there is more. This wall must also be guarded against old habits, old thoughts, and old agreements. Anything you used to believe that was rooted in fear, anxiety, or failure must be uprooted. These roots, if left unchallenged, can grow up and crack the very foundation you're trying to build. Michael says, your mind is the entryway. Guard it. Cleanse it. Anoint it. That means no longer allowing fear to lead your thoughts when it comes to your son. He is not lost. He is not broken. He is not unreachable. He is covered, chosen, and being reshaped by heaven's hand. Type I am rising to get the blessing 7188. Every act of obedience now is multiplied in power. When you speak truth, you're not speaking into thin air, you're planting protection. When you fast for a day, pray for an hour, or whisper a blessing under your breath, the angels surrounding your home intensify their watch. The 7 that were sent are warrior angels. They respond not to fear, but to faith. If you want them to remain, you must remain consistent. That means even on the days you don't see evidence, even when your son acts out, even when breakthrough feels slow, you persist. You declare. You stand. This wall is not built in emotion. It is built in spiritual maturity. You are now being invited into that maturity. No more begging heaven. Now, you command with heaven. You declare boldly, my house is covered. My son is protected. My lineage is redeemed. My angels are standing. And when you do, Archangel Michael raises his sword again, and the angels shift into permanent formation. That's what this entire message has been building toward. This is not just a moment. This is the day the wall is finished. Type I am the builder of protection to get blessing 8607. So stand tall now. Do not let this sacred assignment slip away in distraction. There is power in you that even you haven't fully seen yet. Your willingness to read, receive, declare, and act has altered your son's atmosphere already. The wall has started rising. But now, it must be sealed. And only you can seal it. In the next and final part, the blessing will be released. The angels will be commissioned, and your son's scroll will be covered in light. Prepare your heart. Ready your words. We are at the edge of a great release. Type I am sealing this wall to get the blessing 9910. This is the moment heaven has been leading you to. The scroll of your son's destiny, which was once under threat, is now wrapped in light. The angels that were sent, those 7 mighty watchers, have not left. They are standing taller. Their swords are brighter. The walls you helped build have formed a shield around your son's purpose that darkness cannot touch. This is the sealing. This is the spiritual contract being finalized not with ink, but with faith. You are not just a parent. You are a protector of purpose, a defender of destiny, and a partner with the divine. Archangel Michael now issues his final decree. What has been covered shall not be uncovered by the enemy. What has been blessed shall not be cursed. And what has been spoken in truth shall not return void. Your home has become a sanctuary. Your prayers have become legal commands. And your declarations have become the foundation stones of your son's future. You did not miss the moment. You heard the call. You opened the scroll. And now, heaven is answering with favor, with restoration, and with supernatural protection that will stretch into every corner of your lineage. As you move forward, remember this: the angels are still listening. Keep speaking life. Keep declaring truth. When fear returns, let faith answer. When doubt rises, let the word stand taller. Your son's journey will still have valleys, but he will never walk alone again. Your agreement with heaven has forever altered his spiritual DNA. A new covering has been placed upon him. A new identity has been confirmed. And a new chapter is beginning, not just for him, but for your entire household. Let this be the day you remember as the day everything shifted. If this word has touched your spirit and stirred a fresh sense of boldness within, we invite you to respond with a super thanks of $20. Your support allows us to continue offering prophetic insight, comfort, and strength to those navigating the journey from betrayal to breakthrough. You can also give through PayPal by clicking the support here link in the video description. Every gift, no matter the size, helps us reach more hearts with messages of hope, truth, and encouragement. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you stay connected to spirit-led direction, timely revelation, and words of life designed to uplift you in every season. Type "I am forever covered" to get the blessing 7777.